Hi folks, and welcome to TK Power Sports. Well, we are out here on a rather chilly October day doing something we don't normally do, riding Waverunners. Yes, that's because we have the brand new 2024 Yamaha Waverunner VX Cruiser, and I'm going to tell you all about it right now. Let's start by looking at all the features here on the VX Cruiser. And actually, even before that, let me say that the VX Cruiser is a step smaller than the larger FX Cruiser. Now, the FX is a pure luxury model. The VX, because of its slightly skinnier width and shorter hull, this thing is meant to provide luxury features, but with some of that sort of sport riding experience still intact. So that's sort of the big deal here. Now, right off the top, I have to start with the biggest change for 2024, because it is a massive deal, a brand new power plant in this Yamaha Waverunner. So for the last 15 years, Yamaha has used that 1.8 liter engine. Well, now it's a 1.9 liter. They have just increased the size of those cylinders to provide more power. And you know what? Why don't we cut away right now and talk to a rep from Yamaha, and he can explain some more about the engine changes. So, Rob, thanks for having us out here today. It's exciting to be riding these new Waverunners. Obviously, the new engine for this year is a big deal for 2024. So, can you just talk to me a little bit about, why consumers should be excited about this new 1.9 liter engine in the Waverunner?
Yes, specifically, one of the things that people are always going to want is to know the horsepower. So it is a
Sure.
20 horsepower improvement over the old 1.8 liter naturally aspirated engine that we did have.
Got it.
But not just a horsepower improvement. We actually made some changes that the engine is actually quieter than the previous 1.8.
Okay.
It's actually a smoother riding engine, and it's actually better on fuel.
Nice. So a little bit of everything.
Exactly. It's a win-win for everyone.
That's awesome. Yeah, as we are here in Canada, I was wondering if you could speak maybe for a second about the Canadian market specifically. What about Canadian Waverunner sales is different than other parts of the world?
Well, it's actually a phenomenon that's really globally right now. Is personal watercraft sales are just increasing and increasing year over year.
Nice.
It just gives people the flexibility to get out on their own, get out with a group of people, whatever your preferences are. But it's something that you go around cottage country. There's a boat and there's a PWC at almost every dock.
Yeah.
So they're becoming very, very popular.
Fair enough. And that trend has continued straight through the pandemic. Every single year, we
It
keep getting
has.
more and more.
It has.
That's cool. Yeah. So then finally, and this is a pretty general question, but I'm sure you've got an answer for it, which is why should someone buy a Waverunner over a Sea-Doo or a jet ski?
Well, it's there's a lot of development that goes into our particular product groups. The testing and development that we do, I would like to say, sets us apart from the competition. Yamaha is known for their durability, the reliability,
Of course, yeah.
and you know what? We're efficient. You look at some of the other manufacturers that actually, play the horsepower. We got the highest horsepower, but you know what? At the end of the day, look at the race results. Yamahas are winning, so there's something to be said about that.
Okay, awesome, Rob. That's it, man. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now let's take a closer look here at the features on this VX Cruiser. So first of all, a nice big nose storage. All of our essentials are down in there as well. It is a little annoying to get into this storage as the rider. You can't really reach down in there, but off the dock or off the beach, of course, it's easily accessible. Now, I will say too, for 2024, the colorations are all new, and I like this white with kind of, I call it tactical camo, sort of that camouflaged sort of motif. I think it looks pretty cool. Why don't you let us know what you think of the styling here on the VX? Now, as we roll back, a nice set of standard mirrors there, which is honestly important on a Waverunner. Anything that goes this fast on the water, you want to be able to see all the way around you. Plus, if you're towing somebody, it's nice to have a mirror to watch them back there behind you. Now, as we get back, we get to the technology. That is a 5-inch screen up there right in front of the rider. provide you with all your information. Unlike the other models, this is not a touch screen, so you actually have to use it using these controls down here just underneath your handlebar. There's a D-pad there, and an OK and a back button. But you get all kind of different settings. You can have a pin to start this thing. You get your trip, your engine hours, all of your information delivered on that screen. And it wasn't that long ago that there was no screens in power sports, and now it seems like this is basically standard. If you want a Waverunner, a PWC, heck, even a side-by-side or a snowmobile these days, they almost all come with some kind of screen. So once again, continue rolling back, and we get to the handlebars, very standard for the Waverunner. I love the ride system that they have here because it's just dead simple. You use the right to go forward, you use the left to go in reverse. It's really that easy. And then if you're moving at speed and you grab that reverse, it will also act as a water brake. So nice to have that functionality too. And then more storage. We get to this big storage right here between the rider's legs. Again, very massive, nice and deep. And I'm not sure if you can see them there, but you do have a USB port and a 12-volt port. So not only can you throw your phone or your GoPro down in there, but you can charge it as well, which is pretty cool. As I roll back, we can look down at the footwells. Right down in there, Yamaha has actually added drains into their footwells on the Waverunners. That's a fun feature for not just out on the water, but if this thing just happens to sit in your driveway for a couple days and it rains, well, all the water will drain out. Now looking behind me, not a massive seat for 3 people, definitely a comfortable 2-person machine. And if you want to get 3 on here, they're going to be 3 smaller people, not 3 of me. And then at the very back, you get a decent sized swim platform, and there is a boarding step down there. So if you do come off, you can climb your way back on. But honestly, all of those features I just went through, they're not new for 2024. The big deal is right here under the seat. It's this new engine. So let's hit the water now and see how it performs. All right, folks, let's feel this power plant. It actually feels really good. And I was recently on another Waverunner VX Cruiser, so I do know sort of the feeling that was the 1.8 liter. And it's immediately noticeable. You get more power right out of the hole, jumping up out of the water, and then here in the mid-range, I'm doing 42 kilometers an hour, watch. The thing absolutely takes off. Now, the actual power bump here on paper is only 20 horsepower. The Waverunners used to make 180 horsepower. Now this engine makes 200 horsepower. So not only do we have more overall power, it just feels more accessible, more usable in the low end, which is honestly so important out here on a Waverunner. Top speed is great, but if you want to do the really fun maneuvers, you're not going at crazy speeds. So it's nice to have that kind of meaty mid-range power band so that after you pull a crazy jump or something, you slam down into the water, you're able to grab that throttle and the power is immediately there. Now this 1.9 liter, this is the largest engine in the PWC industry now. No one else offers something this big. And for 2024, it is not supercharged yet. So if you do get any of the SVHO supercharged models, you're still getting the old 1.8. But I'm sure by 2025, maybe 2026, they will supercharge this engine, and then we'll be getting even more power out of those top-end models. But for now, it's hard to complain about this upgrade. I mean, this new engine provides more power. It is extremely quiet. The Yamaha rep said that in the interview. And it's noticeably quieter than the last model, I would say that. And then when it comes to fuel consumption, well, they say it's better. And yeah, you want to enjoy a day out on the water without totally burning through your wallet. So I appreciate that they paid attention to fuel economy as well. Now, I also mentioned the VX Cruiser here. The reason you get this machine is to get the luxury stuff, like the stereo, like the screen in front of me, but you still want the handling. And you can see in some of the B-roll here, I was pulling some tight turns, and this VX Cruiser digs in quite nicely. Now, I've also recently been on the GP 1800R, which is kind of the hardcore race model from Waverunner, and that thing bites a little bit more, but the FX Cruiser, the large luxury model, it doesn't bite quite as much as this. So this kind of bridges that gap. If you want more sport, more performance, but you don't want this massive cruiser machine, and you don't want the hardcore GP 1800, this splits the difference. All of the excellent features with some really solid on-water handling, and yeah, it's honestly quite fun out here when you start pulling turns like this one. You saw it, the response is absolutely immediate, and the handling is now just better paired with more power. So yeah, after a couple hours out here on the water, I'd say Yamaha nailed it with this new 1.9 liter Waverunner engine. Okay folks, now it's time for top speed run here on our new 1.9 liter Yamaha Waverunner VX Cruiser. Let's see what it can do. Here we go. Taking off in 3, 2, 1. So, I saw 110 kilometers per hour here in our VX Cruiser. That's pretty dang quick out here on the water. And honestly, it felt like it got there faster than it did before. Well, folks, we have come to the end of this video, and you know it was a good one because I'm a lot wetter and a little bit colder because it's chilly out here today. But you know what? That did not keep the smile from my face. This VX Cruiser, besides having that solid handling and all the features you could want, the new Waverunner engine, the 1.9 liter, legitimately feels more powerful, it's quieter, and it should be better on fuel. I'm having trouble finding anything to complain about, and I even like the way it looks. But now, of course, I need to hear from you. So why don't you go in the comments, let me know what you think of this next generation of Yamaha Waverunner engine and the VX Cruiser. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of TK Power Sports, and then come right back here to the channel to see what we are testing next. And if you'll excuse me, I got lots more riding to do. See ya!